The dire wolf is no longer extinct? Let us discuss this. On April 7th this year, Colossal Bioscience, which is a biotechnology company, announced that they had successfully revived the dire wolf, which had gone extinct over 10,000 years ago. And in it, they announced the birth of 3 dire wolves they had de-extincted, named Romulus, Remus, and Khaleesi. But did they really bring back the dire wolf, or just genetically engineered a normal grey wolf into a dire wolf? Romulus and Remus, birthed on October 1st, 2024, followed by Khaleesi on January 30th, 2025, exhibit traits resembling the extinct dire wolf, which disappeared over 10,000 years ago. Romulus, Remus, and Khaleesi aren't really true dire wolves, but instead hybrids, and I will explain. But first, let us start with what a dire wolf is. The dire wolf, scientifically known as Inocean dirus, is an extinct species of canine which was native to the Americas during the late Pleistocene and early Holocene epochs, over 125,000 to 10,000 years ago. The species was named in 1858, 4 years after the first specimen had been found, and 2 subspecies are recognized, the Inocean dirus gildai and Inocean dirus dirus. The largest collection of its fossils has been obtained from the Rancho La Brea tar pits in Los Angeles. The dire wolf, Inocean dirus, split from modern wolves 5 to 6 million years ago, meaning grey wolves are not their closest relatives. Surprisingly, African jackals are. So how did Colossal Bioscience achieve this? They used DNA, which was extracted from dire wolf fossils. This was from a 13,000-year-old tooth and a 72,000-year-old skull to reconstruct the dire wolf's genome. But here is the thing. This DNA is very, very old. It is overly fragmented, hence it is very hard to work with. And so, since the full genome wasn't intact, they merged fragments with grey wolf DNA to fill gaps.
We extracted DNA from 2 fossils that we knew from previous work had some amount of preserved ancient DNA. One was a 13,000-year-old bone, and the other was a 72,000-year-old bone, an inner ear bone. We were able to generate 2 genomes, 2 direwolf genome sequences from that, which we then compared to all the other wolves for which there's already been data generated. And when we do that, we want to figure out where it is that these 2 direwolves are similar to each other, but different from the other wolves that are out there. And so we come up with this list of genes where they're distinct. Now, our goal in the direwolf project, just like with all de-extinction projects, is to re-engineer the core traits, the core characteristics that made these extinct species unique and able to fill whatever role that they filled in their ecosystems when they were still alive.
Why grey wolves, you may ask? If they aren't a close relative to the dire wolf, why use them? Well, because of skeletal similarities, scientists had thought that dire wolves were relatives of modern grey wolves, but they were just a result of convergent evolution, where species separately evolve similar adaptations because they lead a similar lifestyle. So, Colossal Bioscience probably had 3 key genes they needed to reconstruct to achieve this, and those were probably the genes responsible for size, skull shape, and cold adaptation. For size and strength, they probably modified IGF-1 and MSTN genes associated with muscle growth. As for the skull shape, they adjusted the RUNX2, which is linked to robust skulls. EDAR was edited for thicker fur to survive the cold weather and thus the birth of a neo-dire wolf, which is a functional hybrid, not a perfect clone. And CRISPR technology was used to achieve this. But these are just genes that were edited. To fully bring this extinct animal to life, the edited cells were used to create embryos, which were implanted into domestic dog surrogates. This process led to the birth of the 3 canines exhibiting dire wolf-like traits. But are they true dire wolves? We have already answered this question. While this project is revolutionary, it just proved that with tools like the CRISPR, we can bring back extinct animals. However, they wouldn't really be the real versions, more like hybrids. Romulus, Remus, and Khaleesi aren't really dire wolves, but instead hybrids of the extinct dire wolf and grey wolf. The true question is, however, just because we can, should we bring back extinct animals back to life? As of now, Colossal Bioscience promises to also bring back the woolly mammoth, Tasmanian tiger, and dodo bird. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Thank you for watching and see you in the next video.